Thank you very much, Sri HRP Yadav ji, and congratulations to you for taking the new assignment.
Thank you, sir.
Sri Naren Singh ji, President, the Institution of Engineers, who is from my college, and I have met him a couple of times. And whenever I have met him, I have got a very, very warm and affectionate feeling from him.
Thank you.
Sri Mehtab Singh ji, Chairman IIT Delhi. Thank you very much, Sri Mehtab Singh ji, for inviting me to this very important webinar. Mr. Mehtab Singh and Mr. Aryan Rajput came to me for extending the invitation, and I was very, very happy to accept this invitation because I consider this topic is very, very important for every railwayman. Sri Aryan Rajput ji, Chairman Safety and Quality Forum, Institution of Engineers. Sri Dinesh Kumar ji, Chairman Delhi State Center, IEI. Sri HRP Yadav ji, Sri Pradeep Chaturvedi ji, Sri Praveen Kumar Singh ji, all the distinguished members of the Institution of Engineers, all the distinguished guests, invitees, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. I am extremely happy to participate in this webinar. It's a very, very important subject, rail travel, making it safer. Every railway employee knows that safety is our first priority, second priority, and third priority. Safety is our priority, and only after safety anything comes. There have been issues as far as safety of railway system is concerned. Though we have been taking many steps, all time to come, but for last 3-4 years, we started taking steps in a very coordinated and integrated manner. When we analyzed the accidents which were taking place on Indian Railway, we found that the most important cause, as per the number of accidents, you can say that if you do the ABC analysis of the accidents, we found that unmanned level crossing gates, they were the main culprits, followed by defects in tracks, then problem in signaling system, then problem in rolling stock maintenance, and some issues on the bridges. We also noticed that whenever the accidents were taking place, and if the coaches were ICF coaches, there were more fatalities, more injuries. And if in any accident LHB coaches were involved, there were very less fatalities. So these were some of the results we got after a detailed analysis of past accidents, and therefore Indian Railway decided to take steps in a very, very coordinated manner, and we gave priority to eliminating unmanned level crossing gates, and we decided to take up this work in a mission mode. there was an incident which happened near Banaras station where on an unmanned level crossing gate, a bus carrying children, it collided with the train and many children, they were dead. And that was the time railway decided that enough is enough. We will eliminate all the unmanned level crossing gates. And in 1 year, while earlier they were eliminating hardly 700, 800 unmanned level crossing gate every year, that year railway decided that enough is enough. And we will eliminate all the level crossing gates. And 4,700 level crossing gates were eliminated in 1 year. And as of today, now we don't have any unmanned level crossing gates. And now we have decided that gradually we will eliminate our manned level crossing gates also. Today we are having roughly around 21,000 manned level crossing gates. Out of that, 2,500 manned level crossing gates are on GQGD, Golden Quadrilateral and Golden Diagonal. And we have decided that we will eliminate all these manned level crossing gates in phased manner, and 2,500 manned level crossing gate, which is on Golden Quadrilateral and Golden Diagonal, which carries around 60% of the traffic, we will be eliminating in next 3 years. And rest of the manned level crossing gates also will be eliminated. And if I mention the elimination of manned level crossing gates in the last year was 3 times more than what we did last year, before that year. So that is the focus which railway gave for elimination of unmanned level crossing gate, and now we are focusing on manned level crossing gate. Now the next culprit was track renewal. As engineer, we know that the track which we are laying, it becomes due for renewal after a certain period of time, after certain GMT of traffic has moved on that track. And there was a time when there was a lot of backlog, and when we analyzed, we found that the derailments which were taking place due to track defects, they were mainly on those portions of track which was already overdue for track renewal, and we could not renew it due to so many issues. So we decided that we will renew the track as it becomes due. And whatever backlog was there, we cleared all the backlog. And as of now, I can just mention that as it becomes due, whenever it becomes due in a financial year, whatever is the due, we try to renew it in the same financial year. And we want to keep the backlog as less as possible. And therefore, the derailments due to track defects have come drastically down. Then we took a decision. We stopped manufacturing ICF coaches. As of now, we don't manufacture ICF coaches. We are only manufacturing LHB coaches. And the production of LHB coaches has also been doubled as compared to the last year. Similarly, the signaling system. Now, even today, there are around 300 stations out of 7,000 stations where mechanical signaling is there. We have already taken a decision, and these 300 stations where mechanical signaling will be there, it will also be completed in next financial year. So next financial year, all our stations will be having only either electronic interlocking or panel interlocking. Then another major step which we took, as of now, we don't have our own automatic train protection system. We have been trying to introduce automatic train protection system for quite some time. but in a very small portion of Indian Railway, we could provide ETCS level 1. The dedicated freight corridor that is having ETCS level 1. We were trying to introduce ETCS level 2. Due to various reasons, we have not been able to do. In the meantime, Indian Railway started its own technology known as TICAS, Train Collision Avoidance System. That TICAS, which is Indian Automatic Train Protection System, which was going on development and testing for quite some time. When I joined at GM South Central Railway in 2017, the development and testing was still going on South Central Railway. I took that opportunity of being general manager of South Central Railway, and Indian Railway could complete the testing phase, and the TICAS was developed. It has already been deployed on 250 kilometer, which is running very successfully. We have already finalized tenders for 1250 kilometer. And now we have decided that we will not go for ETCS level 2. We will be having TICAS as our own national automatic train protection system. And we will be introducing this automatic train protection system on entire Indian Railway in phased manner, to begin with on Golden Quadrilateral and Golden Diagonal. New Delhi, Mumbai, New Delhi, Kolkata, the work is already sanctioned, and we have started initiating process for deployment of this TICAS on New Delhi, Mumbai, New Delhi, Kolkata. At the same time, we will further upgrade this system to become technologically at par with ETCS level 2. That process is already going on. So that is a big decision as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We took a decision that not only we will deploy our own automatic train protection system, but also we will bring it at par with ETCS level 2. And also we will see that these technologies are exported to neighboring countries. Then another major step we have taken, that we have decided to bring paradigm shift in maintenance of fixed assets and rolling stock. As far as track maintenance is concerned, we are going for complete mechanized maintenance. And I'm very happy to inform that we have already placed the order for procurement of track machines, which will be sufficient for deployment on entire 68,000 kilometer network. The orders have already been placed, and we are expecting these machines will start arriving in next financial year, and all the machines will be available with us next 2 to 3 years. Next 2 to 3 years, we are planning to have complete mechanized maintenance of track. So that is one big shift. Then another big paradigm shift on maintenance of rolling stock. We are going for smart coaches, which will have different type of sensors, and it will be able to provide the signal if there are any problem in bearing or any other undergear equipment. It should be able to sense and give the advance warning. We are providing equipments in various yards. To begin with, we have identified some major yards, 40 yards, where we will be putting all types of sensors that it will be able to detect if there are any fault in rolling stock, whether it is coaching stock or freight stock. So all these paradigm shift is taking place. Last 3-4 years, the decisions which have been taken, that has really helped improving the safety of Indian Railway. And though we don't talk much about it, but that is a fact that last accident which took place, which has fatalities, that was in March 19. For last 18 months, there have been 0 fatalities due to train accident. So there has been no fatalities since March 19, 18 months, and this has happened only due to all the steps which were taken by Indian Railway. Now, one more important thing about Indian Railway, at least, we all know that all our important routes, which we call it as high density network, they are congested and their traffic density is more than 100. If we design the track for 100 trains, we are running 130, 140 trains, mainly on Golden Quadrilateral and Golden Diagonal, that 11,000 kilometer network, which is around 16% of the entire rail network, carries 60% traffic, and they are highly congested, and that creates the problem. And the problem is that since we are carrying so much traffic, we don't find time to give traffic block to maintain those assets, and the condition of assets get deteriorated. Sometimes some shortcuts are being done, and all these things lead to the accidents. Now, what Indian Railway has decided, that we will be expanding the network, we will be doing the infrastructure development in such a way that by March 2024, there will be no network constraint. Whatever traffic we want to run, we should be able to run that traffic. So that is the vision which Indian Railway has developed for itself, and some of the important components of that business which Indian Railway has developed, I would just like to mention. And the most important component is that we are going to do doubling of 11,500 kilometers. Out of 23,000 kilometers of highly utilized network, which carries around 36% of traffic, is still 11,500 kilometer line is single line. So the problem has been, we know that this network has reached the density of 90%, 95%, and very soon it will cross 100. And there was no definite plan to double it. So we have decided that March 2024, all our network, 23,000 kilometers, which is highly utilized network, will be doubled. And then around 3,000 kilometers, part of high density network, which is already congested, we will convert it into third line or fourth line. So March 2024, around 14,000 kilometer line will be doubled, triple, and quadrupled. Much before March 2024, the entire railway electrification will be completed, 100%. Much before March 2024, exactly by December 21, all Golden Quadrilateral and Golden Diagonal will be made fit for 130 km per hour. New Delhi, Mumbai, New Delhi, Kolkata is already upgraded to 130 km per hour in July 20. Delhi, Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata will be upgraded to 160 km per hour with automatic train protection system by March 2024. And much before that, by June 22, 2,800 km Delhi, Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata dedicated freight corridor will be commissioned. In fact, March 21, Kanpur, Furja 350 km and Rewari, Palanpur 650 km will be commissioned and put to use for the existing freight traffic. and remaining 1700 kilometers will be completed by June 22. So all these steps which are being taken to develop the infrastructure, it's certainly going to bring safety to the operation. And two more important things I would like to mention, that we have gone for a real-time train information system where 50% of our locomotives, passenger locomotives, have already been fitted with the GPS system, which is connected with the ISRO satellite. And 50% of the trains, we are getting actual information about its running. And another 50% will be completed in next 1 year. The tenders have already been processed. So in 1 year, entire fleet of the train, whether passenger or freight, they will be connected with GPS, and we will be having the real-time information which has been linked to the control office application. And through artificial intelligence, we are going to manage the entire railway operation system, which will bring efficiency in the operation of railway system and also provide a better safety in the railway operation. Now, the second thing which I wanted to mention, that for safety, it's very, very important that we have to provide sufficient maintenance corridor for maintenance of our fixed assets, which has been lacking on Indian Railway. As far as international railways are concerned, they always make timetable in such a way that every section have a fixed maintenance corridor where everybody knows in advance that for this section, this is the time interval for maintenance, and all the maintenance team, whether electrical, civil, S&T, they make the advanced planning, and once the maintenance block is available, everybody goes and does the work, and that is the way the maintenance has to be done on a regular basis. To achieve that objective, we are working out on zero-based timetable. Zero-based timetable means we are completely changing our timetable and we are making it from clean slate. Absolutely new timetable is being worked out. IIT Mumbai and ISP is helping us through computer simulations. And the objective of that zero-based timetable is that we will be having a separate time interval for running passenger trains known as passenger corridors. And while deciding the passenger corridors, we will be keeping it in view that the departure time from the stations and arrival time at various stations, they should be comfortable. And then we will be having a separate time interval for running freight trains. And then we will be having the fixed time interval for maintenance of the fixed assets. So these are the big steps which Indian Railway has taken up for last 2-3 years. The results are already visible. There is a tremendous improvement in safety, which is reflected in various types of statistics. And the way we have planned in next 3 to 4 years, we want to expand our network in such a way that we should be able to run train, whether it is freight train or passenger train, as per demand. As far this present COVID situation is concerned, it's a big challenge for the entire world, big challenge for our own country, and big challenge for Indian Railway. Our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji have called upon everyone and he gave us time to take presentation from Indian Railway also, and he has been telling that each one of us should convert the challenges into opportunity. And all the employees of Indian Railway, they really worked hard and they really converted these challenges into opportunity, and taking a big challenge that all our passenger trains, we run around 13,000 passenger trains daily, which includes suburban trains also. We run daily 13,000 trains. We carry daily 2.3 crore passengers. Now, in this challenging time, all our passenger trains were stopped. First time in the history of Indian Railway, we had to stop all our passenger trains. But we took it as a challenge, and all our Indian Railway employees, they completed all those works which were not being executed due to lack of traffic block. There were many old bridges, FOBs, which we were not able to dismantle because we needed traffic block for 2 days, 3 days, and it was not possible to stop trains for such a long time. So we really converted this challenge into opportunity, and more than 200 safety related infrastructure projects which were languishing for many years for want of adequate traffic block. All our railway employees, they really have shown their commitment and completed all those projects. And as you might have noticed, again, since passenger trains were not running, that there was no network congestion. Taking advantage of that challenge, Indian Railway has pushed freight operation and parcel operation in big way. And in the month of September, our freight loading has gone 15% more than what we had in September 19. That really indicates that economic activities in the country has started reviving. So these are some of the challenges which we faced due to this global pandemic, but we try to convert it in opportunity. Previous speakers mentioned about transportation of migrant laborers. Yes, it was a very, very challenging task. And when the passenger trains were stopped, at that point of time, also our Indian Railways employees, they kept on preparing themselves for any eventuality. And we all time we kept some of our rakes fully maintained, safety checked, and we were fully geared up to run train at the shortest notice. And I would like to just share with you that we were given only 12 hours to run these migrant trains. We were asked to run these migrant trains at 8 o'clock in the evening, and first migrant train started 5 o'clock in the morning from Secunderabad. So that only indicates that our Indian Railway employees, how much well prepared they were. And we carried around 62 lakh migrant laborers from one place to another place. And as you might notice that in this global pandemic situation, we are able to maintain all the protocols, hygiene protocols, safety protocols. Whatever trains we are running, all trains are 100% reserved. We have banned unreserved traveling. Only those passengers are allowed to enter the stations who have the confirmed tickets. So all those precautions we are taking. I will just summarize before I close my talk that Indian Railway is fully committed to provide safe travel to our passengers, and safe transportation of goods. And for making the rail travel safer, Indian Railway has taken number of steps in past, and we have made a very definite plan to complete all those infrastructure related works and the modernization of rail system in such a way that operation is totally safe, efficient, and even the maintenance of assets, whether it is fixed asset or rolling stock, they are completely mechanized. We are moving towards predictive maintenance. We are moving towards where the sensors which we are deploying, they are able to alert us in advance before the actual defect takes place. So I can assure all of you a very safe rail travel in coming days. So thank you once again for inviting me to such an important webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We are highly grateful to you for highly stimulating speech and apprising us about the various actions being taken by the Indian Railways to make the rail travel more safer. I invite Shri Pradeep Chaturvedi, Council Member of the institution, to deliver his concluding remarks.
Okay. No, I just said my grateful thanks to the Chairman Railway Board for the wonderful presentation that he made. And everything that he spoke really came out from his heart and from the experience that he had. I had been doing things at many national and international levels, but this was one of the very few presentations which I can tell you really impressed highly. A couple of months back, maybe about 3 months back, I listened to his address at the press conference when he was disputing he was explaining about the rumor, the trains scheduled for Patna went to Lucknow and all. And he came out very frankly, openly, and he said, explain what it was. I mean, a perfect leadership and a communication skill. The only two other examples that I had in my career of over 50 years with working with various things, about 2 decades back, the UPSC had one incident where a student complained, sir, in all subjects I have done well, only in one subject I have not done well. This can't be, there was some mistake. So they had the chairman that time did the inquiry, they found there was a mistake. He said the whole secretariat in UPSC said no, well, we should not do it, otherwise we'll lose faith. So the chairman said no, we will do a press conference, I'll address the press conference and explain what happened, and then we'll change. That his making that presentation was such a great impact that people thought that look here, there is a system that works, and if anything has gone wrong, then it has been set right. The other example that I can give was of in the early 70s when we had the Green Revolution. Dr. Swaminathan was asked by the then Prime Minister that instead of you sitting in the Krishi Bhavan, if you go out and speak to a few farmers, the farmers will accept the new technologies and all that much more. All that Swaminathan had to go was to do, he went down to a few of those farms and look and behold, the whole new set of technologies was so fast accepted earlier in Punjab, Haryana and all, and later on in the other parts. So it all depends how the leader takes the challenge and then explains. Mr. Yadav's whole thing, and then you see we have the two words that are very buzzwords are the digitization and digitalization. Now these are two separate things, like sustainable development goals and sustainability. Now digitization is basically transforming from onto a digital platform. Like if you want a bank passbook, you get it into a digital form. But the whole process of digitalization is a process and the system all through. What Mr. Yadav has explained, he has been able to, or the railways has been able to do well. Moving on to the digitalization, it's not just digitization of a few processes, but whole synchronous movement of the whole system, and bringing and doing this whole process of digitalization so fast is really it's a great achievement, because we have systems falling from one end to the other end, which varies a great deal. I remember a couple of years back when DG EME was taking stock. We were there to service all arms. They took stock and they found that the number of arms that they had to take care runs into thousands of them. And then they found that what all needs to be done. They took stock, built it up. It took them a couple of years. Now the systems are much more simplified. But to find out a process, put it onto the record is a difficult job. Over the couple of years, because of the being involved with the Golden Peacock Awards committee, chairing it, every year we receive applications from different units of railways. So over the number of years, for last 2 decades, I know how the technology has moved, and there's a remarkable indigenous development in all our units in the railways. And we have, I'll just give you one example. I just wanted someone to do up my civil contractor to come in. He's somewhere in Bihar. So I just called him up yesterday. I said, when can it be possible? He said, sir, give me half an hour. I'll go to the railway station and come back. So I said, what? He said, I'll just check for the rails. I said, are they running? He said, sir, we are very confident. If they say the train will go, it will go. And it will reach in time. Surprise, in half an hour, he came back and said, sir, I'll get the train ticket on Friday night. Saturday morning, I'll reach Delhi and I'll come to your place latest by Sunday. Now, the confidence, this example I'm giving, the confidence that Mr. Yadav has been able to create in the migrant labor, that we will take you to your village, and when there is a work opportunity, you will have the place to come back safely. This is remarkable, and we find that the incidence of corona transmission in the railways has been reported to be about 0.1% of the total. I mean, it is much lesser than even the road transport or any other transport. The probability, this is the probability factor, whether it really happens or not is a different thing. Mr. Yadav has presented a nice overview of what Railways has done. I have also been associated with because of so many friends from Railways being in the Institution of Engineers and with the Indian National Academy of Engineering. In the Academy, we have a Technology Foresight Committee where the former Chairman Railway Board, Saviti Agrawal, chairs. I'm a member of the committee. There are 8 more former railway persons onto that committee. So you can just think that how much, even after their retirement, the persons from Railways have been contributing to the technology development. The way your electrification program has done, I had been having discussion with the electrical going for a long time, for almost from 2001 when we were setting up the electricity bill, and till now. So for almost more than 2 decades, I've seen how this has been done. This is not an easy job. This is not a simple job. And when the railway, when Europe had the problem, when the climate change took place and they had the problem for the railways, that was a time when large number of our Indian railway experts were invited to tell them that if there is a certain climate change, what happens when the rails do take place. And we had all those opportunities. But what you have done within the last 6 months, bringing that to the process of digitalization, bringing that whole total concept, convincing the people, training them to work on it, the confidence level that you have raised and the confidence that you have built into the common man, into the railways, is remarkable. Sir, I have no words to compliment, but they're really saying that Railways done a great job, and all of you have done us all proud. We engineers can say, because this is a time that look at Railways, if they can do it, engineering fraternity can do it anywhere. Before I finish, let me just say, at one time we used to say, if you know people in the PMO, everything could be done. Now, if you ask anyone, they say that, look here, I'm just trying to find out, doing something on to different things. We said we had on energy efficiency. He said there is a railway officer who is there as the DG Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Then I wanted to do on the rural development. There's the Joint Secretary in charge and had a good reputation, and he has done a great job. You go and talk to him. He wanted to do something on smart cities. We had a railway officer who was the mission director of railways. So they say if you want to do anything in the Indian government now, you have to just find out a link in railways, and everything could be done. But that again shows the universality of our officials from the Indian Railways. That they are not serving only the railways, but sir, your manpower is able to contribute in so many sectors, and in everywhere you are a success. That's a great job to the railway engineers. My great compliments, and on behalf of the Institution of Engineers and all the engineering fraternity and IIT, we would like to thank you extremely gratefully for all the presentation that you made. We wish you all success. Anytime we can do anything for you, we are the whole Institution of Engineers and IIT and all are at your disposal. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, on behalf of the Quality Forum, Delhi Center, and IIT Delhi Local Network, it's my privilege to present the formal vote of thanks at the conclusion of this webinar. We are highly privileged to host this webinar in a most befitting manner, and the presence of Honorable President of the institution, Engineer Narendra Singh, has added grace and value to this function. My grateful thanks to our Honorable President. Our heartiest thanks to Shri Vinod Kumar Yadav, Chairman Railway Board and ex-officer Principal Secretary to the Government of India, for acceding to our request to deliver excellent keynote address on a very crucial topic. Our grateful thanks to all the participants, especially past Chairman of Delhi State Center, Dr. G.S. Yadav, past Honorary Secretaries, Mr. V.K. Gupta, Mr. Subhash Chandra, BOG members, MR, and other distinguished corporate members of the institution for their active participation in this webinar. We would also like to inform all the participants that since it's a very excellent lecture, we will be uploading the recording of this webinar on the YouTube channel of Safety and Quality Forum by today evening. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.